happening, guys? Brax Wolfe here, back with another video, and this time we'll be reviewing the CRUISER Electric Skateboard by Outdoor Master. We'll be going through the design, the performance, things that I like and others that I don't, and see if this board has what it takes to be a contender in the electric skateboard battle. Outdoor Master sent me this board free of charge for a review. But being a daily rider, I want you guys to get the best board for your buck and the best experience out there. So I'll be as honest as I can be in this video. Alright, let's get started. Let's talk about the design of this board since it's a bit different from the competition. A carefully crafted deck with many sexy curves, 11 layers of maple wood, 2 layers of fiberglass, and yes, the batteries. The batteries for this board is located within the deck. It's all in there, crunched up, which creates a lightweight hub board with tons of clearance. When Outdoor Master contacted me, I was really excited about one thing, the trucks in this board. You know, it has these springs on both trucks that makes carving really fun and comfortable. Almost like you had a built-in waterborne adapter built in out of the box right onto your board. As their site states, our high-quality patent trucks is equipped with the latest shock absorbing system. It has a buffering spring on both front and rear end for a smooth ride and flexible turns. A smooth ride, yes, but only under certain conditions. But we'll talk more about that later. But overall, from the deck to the trucks and the hub motors, everything seems to be well built with durability in mind. Yeah, keeping this clean aesthetic, which creates a lightweight hub board. This board is powered by two 450-watt hub motors that will give you a speed of 28 miles per hour and a 15-mile range. The range is not impressive when compared to other brands in the market, but Outdoor Master has answered that with their boosted board, which allows you to go 27 miles on a full charge. Alright, back to the CRUISER board. The CRUISER board has an updated control system for speed and braking precision that achieves the perfect balance between energy and endurance. But from my brief tests, I got different results. So besides the aesthetically pleasing looks, my favorite aspect of this board is the trucks. With the springs, this board becomes very nimble and it gives you the ability to turn and carve on the spot. Make sure to use your T-tool to adjust the trucks to your liking. Another thing I really enjoy is the remote. It's a remote with a screen and interface that can be found with most brands. However, it has a design with a hole for your index finger, which securely sits in your hand. The torque is nothing to boast about. However, the acceleration and braking seems to be pretty precise with the combination of speed controllers and remote. This board is beautiful and I'm sure Outdoor Master has put a lot of thought into it. But there's some things that I don't like. Like, as much as I want to love this board and I'm gonna contact Outdoor Master and let him know what the issue is, and as much as I wanted to make a great review and a great video for them, it just didn't happen because right away the board broke down. And after I show you guys how the board broke down, it's just a major design flaw. Alright, let's see. Alright guys, so I just rode this board, I don't know, not even maybe 5 to 10 miles, and the speed controllers already came off. And you know, it blows my mind that these speed controllers are just held together by these 4 tiny little screws. So the vibrations, as I was riding, the little screws fell out. 1 gone, 2 gone, 3 gone. So the speed controller is just dangling there. I feel like these boards have to be made to withstand the conditions. And you know, I was doing some city riding, but I also try to to get on the path and go somewhere smooth where I felt like this board could do well on, because it's not comfortable for city riding. The fact that the battery is within the deck, there's no flex whatsoever. So as soon as you're going through cracks, yes, it's rough, and that's why the screws came off and the speed controller is now just dangling, because it wasn't built for that shock proof. The whole thing about these boards that companies need to keep in mind, they're creating these items. Yes, they look beautiful, that's awesome, but they need to perform well in shitty situations. Like when I'm out there riding, the road is rough, going from the street to the sidewalk. I guess I'm a city rider, so I'm not riding this on perfectly flat, smooth surfaces. And as you're riding the board, the last thing you want is for things to start coming apart on you. Because, like I mentioned in my videos, I have things under control until I don't, and that's when I don't, when the board starts to fall apart on me, and that's when I think I will get in an accident. And for you guys out there, if you have this board, if you're looking to get this board, be very careful. I'm gonna try to, this is a perfect example now to reach out to Outdoor Master and get a feel for their customer service and really see how they will treat this problem. I think it can be fixed. It has to be fixed from factory. I'm gonna try to fix it. But if they were to put a metal base plate underneath the speed controller that's attached to the deck, and then those tiny screws, as you can see, those 4 tiny screws were holding up the speed controller to the deck, and they're so small. At first I was hoping it wasn't, and if it was sunk into at least like a metal housing there that the screws were really attached to the deck. But it's not. They're barely sunk in there, and I could see how it came apart so quick. I lost 3 out of the 4 screws for the speed controller, and the only reason I knew that I was missing them is because I got to where I needed to go. If I maybe went half a mile longer, I probably would have lost all 4, and the speed controllers would have been just dangling. And it's not just that. Everything is concealed inside of the deck. There's no ventilation whatsoever for the battery. It's not like other cases get major ventilation, but this thing is really sealed. And there's no screws underneath to get to the battery. So how would you do it? At first, being excited, I was thrilled about the design. I didn't really think about it. And then I started to think about it. How do I get to this battery? And after just a short amount of riding it, maybe a full charge cycle, I started to see the battery rising from the deck up. Here, I'm gonna try to show you guys. But at first, this deck was perfectly flat. Now, I see the mark where the battery sits. So how would you get to this battery? You would probably remove this grip tape, and then somewhere over there's a way for you to get to the battery. I'm not sure if there's something covering it. Yeah, it has to be. But right here, I see where the battery sits. And that's just, I think, heat. Just from riding it, the heat of the battery kind of expanded, and now I see it. So, they went through so much effort to keep the sleek design and keep it very minimal. But yet, I'm not sure if it's functional for a rider. But how is that possible? Aren't the springs supposed to be a smooth ride? Well, as you can see, the shocks are indeed flexing, but the springs create a noisy riding experience versus a regular polyurethane bushing. So even though this is a cruiser board, it's supposed to be a comfortable ride. Yes, it's a comfortable ride on smooth surfaces. Like, this thing is very rough. Like, if you hit a bump, it's rough. There's barely any flex to the deck. In my experience, heavier boards are better for harsh or uneven surfaces. The weight of the board will keep you glued to the ground with more control. Since this board is so light, it would always shift from under my feet whenever I was adjusting myself on the board. As much as I wish I loved this board so much, here I go again, probably ruining another partnership. But Outdoor Master, I'm sorry, I really tried. I tried to make a great video about this board. I had other plans for it, but again, I couldn't even get through my main range test. I couldn't even do much of speed tests. And in the speed test that I did do it, the battery depletion. One thing about the battery, I will show you guys, on this speed controller, there's no screen, nothing that indicates the battery for the board. So again, you gotta rely on the remote control. And it's just 4 bars that identifies 100% of battery. So if you're missing 1 bar, you could be, from 75 to 100, you're not sure. Missing 2 bars, 50 to 75. But if you're down to 1 bar, you could be at 1% or you could be at 25%, more or less. And it's just not useful when you're trying to ride something out there somewhere. Again, I'm not sure who this is for the electric skateboard companies out there, but put a tiny screen that indicates the battery on the board. It can't be more than $1 to add that to the board. Like, I can't see that being a huge addition. That's like cents, especially like in Chinese currency. You guys make things happen so easily out there. So why can't you just add a tiny little screen to the battery that shows the battery percentage? Because it's a guessing game. And to be honest, not to bash on this thing, but the tests that I did with speed, I would get max speed from a fresh battery, but after 1 bar would go down on the remote, which meant, I had give or less 75% of battery, the board would slow down to 23 to 24 miles per hour. And this deck, it's a beautiful deck. It's a beautiful design. And I wish there was just a bumper, something here that protected this deck. Like, again, I don't know who are testing these boards, but when I put the board down, it's most likely like this. It will be like this on the floor. And some boards have these bumpers, these protections that keep the deck nice and protected, but this doesn't have anything. So the deck has already started to take in some damage, and I've just been trying to be very careful. Like, I've ridden this I went on 2 to 3 rides, and this thing already shows signs of wear, to the point that it's like, oh, this good looking board, but now it's not working, and it already shows signs of wear to the point that it's not so pretty anymore. Like, an electric skateboard has to be functional.
Maybe the CRUISER was created for different reasons. For those times where the surface is truly flat, a large parking lot, at the beach, and other places where the spring system can truly shine. But overall, I'm excited to fix this up and get cruising again. So let me know in the comments what you guys think. Am I being too picky, or is this board worth the $700?
That is all, guys. If you enjoyed the video, please drop a like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Alright, I will see you very soon. Peace out.